This young man's name is Suzuki, a single guy with a very kind personality, but at the age of 30 he still doesn't have a girlfriend. His current job is a game programmer. Today a friend came to report that a new game has been released, but because it is too complicated, it makes it difficult for new players. The customer requested to edit this game and this was assigned to Suzuki to handle. Suzuki worked continuously for 3 days after completion. Because he was so tired, he decided to go to sleep. When he woke up, he was surprised to find himself in a strange place. He took out his phone and tried to call but couldn't. He also discovered that his appearance had changed. Suzuki recognized this place as the game he was fixing. At this time, he discovered that the dashboard could control functions with his mind. In this game, he plays a character named Sato. Currently, Sato was only at level 1. Suddenly a herd of lizards was coming towards him. Sato opened the map to see their information. Saw them from level 49 and above and there were about 300 of them, but he was only level 1 so how could he fight? Sato hides behind a rock. But they still saw him and shot and wounded him. Only then did he realize that this was not a dream. In a moment of danger, he realized he had a skill so he tried to use it and that skill was a meteor shower, but for some reason after using it nothing changed. The lizards continuously shot arrows at him. Suddenly, countless meteorites fell from the sky. This scene was no different from the end of the world and the lizards were also burned. When he kills enemies, he receives item upgrade points and titles. After that war, this land became desolate. Sato woke up with minor injuries but the lizard was still alive. It threw him a sword and told him to fight together. Sato could only continuously dodge. Taking advantage of the weakened enemy, he threw mud into its eyes and threw his sword at it. Because his level has increased, his strength has also increased. After the recent argument, Sato also calmed down. He tried to exit the game but couldn't. He also discovered that all the wounds on his body had healed on their own. Just by playing one level he reached level 310 and his stats also skyrocketed. Since his level has increased, Sato wants to test the power of the meteor shower move again. Once he identifies the target, he will activate the skill. When it hits the ground, it creates an explosion similar to a nuclear bomb. Seeing that, Sato ran away. While running, Sato tripped and fell into another dimension. Sato found this skill so bad that he locked it. He opened the storage room and saw many things in there. Sato felt a bit ugly so he decided to change into a new outfit. He also uses the points he earns to upgrade necessary skills. The next day, Sato began to explore the new land. One day, thanks to the map, he found a group of soldiers. He was about to fly up high to observe when a dragon attacked him, causing him to fall from above. He threw stones at the dragon, injuring it and forcing it to flee. Seeing the dragon flying towards the soldiers, Sato immediately chased after the soldiers. The soldiers attacked the dragon but caused no damage. On this side, Seisho was still observing. He thought the dragon was aiming for him, but without saying a word, he changed direction and attacked a girl, sending her flying into the sky. Sato immediately flew to save the girl and brought her to safety. The girl said thank you to him and then the two began to get to know each other. Through this, Sato learned that her name was Xena, a magician. Suddenly an arrow flew towards me. It turned out that those arrows belonged to two of her teammates. Because Sato was so strange, they were afraid that Xena was in danger so they were wary. Seeing this, Sato immediately used his tricks to deceive the girls. He said he was a businessman. Afterwards, Sato and Xena went to a town. People came across the dragon's corpse and learned that its skin could be used as clothing. Sato opened the map and saw that this town was about 80% civilians and 20% slaves including humans and other races. Once in town, Xena had to go back to work and Sato was taken to have his identification papers renewed. The information appeared before he destroyed the lizard people. Everyone saw that he was only 15 years old, an adult but only in elementary school, so they looked down on him. All subsequent procedures went smoothly. He also receives items that allow him to enter and exit the city. If you want to stay in this town, you have to pay taxes. If he didn't have enough money when he was due, he would be enslaved. Before saying goodbye to the blonde girl, she showed Sato an inn to stay at. He felt quite excited about the new atmosphere and the exciting life ahead. Walking on the street, "You are definitely a girl." She lured him into her boarding house. "That's also where I was pointed by the blonde girl." Sato immediately rented a room to stay for 10 days. Through talking with the landlady, he learned that this world had a demon king but was defeated by heroes many years ago. After a hearty meal, Sato asked Mata to take him for a walk around town. On the way, seeing some children being bullied, Sato immediately stood up to protect them. It turns out that here, civilians will be looked down upon and treated poorly. Returning to Mata, he said that in the past, the first people who came here to trade and live were all destroyed by beastmen, so they were hated. The two continued walking around town. Sato even used his bargaining skills to buy things, but after walking for so long he could only buy a few items and a hairpin to give to Mata. The two items for him are a dragon mask and a wig. At this time, he accidentally saw a purple-haired girl named Arisa passing by. After that, the two returned to the inn and met a cute waiter named Roan. The girl said that the bathhouse here was not for civilians, so Sato could only go to the well to bathe. The food here not only looks beautiful but is also delicious. After eating, he returned to the bedroom. Sato begins to remember everything that happened. Since coming here, he immediately realized that this place could not be a game world. There were so many things that made him curious that he decided to go out to find answers. The next day Xena called him for a walk. On the way, the two stopped at a restaurant to buy 2 cakes and enjoy them together. The two continued to go to the restaurant selling fried bat wings. She had just bought it, but before she could eat it, a boy running on the street hit her and Xena's shirt got dirty. When I was about to go find a store to do laundry, a girl appeared and said she had magic to clean clothes. With just one spell of magic, her shirt was as clean as new. Sato also accidentally learned these spells. After that, they walked together and talked happily about life. Here, children from a young age have to work hard to learn magic. On the way, Sato stopped by to buy some medicine to treat skin wounds. After that, the two went to watch the battle between the hero and the Demon King. Not everyone can wield the holy sword, only the chosen can wield it. Suddenly a nun named Ona appeared to greet the two. She is the daughter of an earl and is closely related to Xena's family. Just as she was about to explain the legend to the two of them, she received urgent news and ran away. Sato checks the titles he has so far. He was surprised to find that he had earned the title of God Slayer thanks to the meteor shower technique, to the point of being able to destroy even gods. On the way back, Xena introduced Sato to a tower. If flying monsters or dragons approach the tower will be tasked with destroying them. This side has a tower that was destroyed by a dragon 2 years ago. Next is the story of the Demon King defeated by a warrior 66 years ago. Since then, the Demon King and his minions have not appeared again. While walking, he encountered a brainwashed crowd who were agitated by the words of a monk. He said that beastmen with half-demon blood were part of the Demon King's family and needed to be punished. Xena could not stand this inhumane act, so she stood up to protect the 3 people. She used wind magic to block the rocks, while Sato used observation skills. Knowing that the owner of the 3 beastmen is not the monk but someone else, he immediately realized that they had colluded and deceived the people. Thanks to the map, he also discovered a few accomplices hiding in the crowd to incite people. Sato began to silently capture everyone one by one and take them somewhere else. He also quickly found the leader and brought him out in front of everyone. Afterwards, Sato exposed their evil deception to the people. As soon as everything was revealed, a demon emerged from the trickster. People saw this and ran away. At this moment, Sato really wanted to get the 3 beastmen out of here, but because the 3 of them had signed a master-servant contract, they were not allowed to leave here. If you leave, the collar will tighten. The demon had completely reincarnated the masters of the 3 dead beastmen, so now the remaining 3 had been freed. The devil performed some kind of magic. Just as Xena sent help, Sato and the 3 beastmen were teleported to the labyrinth dungeon. He named each of them Lita, Pochi, and Tama. So he accidentally became their owner. Sato gave them the necessary items, but they did not accept them. Only when he gave an order did they accept it. Sato began to open the map to examine the terrain and search for the others' locations. Currently, Sato sees that Lita is the only one who can fight, so he gives her a sword. Tama will help observe the situation, while little Pochi will listen for movement, using all the power they have. On the way, Sato and his group encountered a bug eating a corpse, so they immediately pulled out their guns. With just a few shots, he easily destroyed it. This weapon seems very powerful. He then used the sharp part of the dead bug's body to create a spear for Lita to use as a weapon. On this side, she got the magic stone from the bug. This can be sold at a very high price. Then everyone continued on their way.